It's as if the last 10 years never happened. A defiant Bashar al-Assad running for an all but guaranteed fourth 7-year term in an election labeled a sham and illegitimate by the US and other countries. Running against two obscure government-sanctioned candidates, no one's expecting any surprises. After all, Assad claimed nearly 90% of the 2014 vote during a civil war that pitted his supporters against those who wanted to overthrow his regime.
The international community should treat this, as I said, a non-event. It's absolutely not changing the economic conditions on the ground. It's not changing the political conditions on the ground. Syrians are just as oppressed. They will be just as oppressed on Thursday as they are today.
After a decade of a war like no other the world has seen in generations, most of this broken country, with help from allies Russia and Iran, is back under Assad's control. But Syria today is a shadow of the country he inherited from his father more than 20 years ago. Syrians are facing a hunger crisis, the majority living in poverty. More than half can't afford a basic meal, according to the UN. But through it all, Assad continues to cling on.
The Assad regime and its allies, they just want to continue to confirm that they will not budge an inch, despite everything the country has been through in 10 years, despite the fact that they're struggling to keep the country alive economically. They are still adamant about not changing a single thing. From Bashar al-Assad's perspective, this is an existential crisis. He will fight to the death. He said this many years ago. His supporters said this, Assad or nahruq al-balad, Assad or we will burn down the country.
And the country burnt, 12 million displaced, hundreds of thousands of lives lost. More than 120,000, like Ali Mustafa, vanished into the black hole of the regime's prison system. His daughter Wafa counts the days since she last saw her father. More than 2,800. That's nearly 8 years. She's been fighting for his freedom and for that of others forcibly disappeared by the regime.
I think of my dad, obviously, and I feel him every day. But now more than ever, it's just heartbreaking. My dad is probably being tortured. Luckily, if he's still alive, while Assad is being elected for another term, it makes me feel very angry, very sad, very disappointed. I'm feeling helpless, and this is the point where I ask myself, is everything I'm trying to do pointless, just pointless?
Wafa describes the election as a silly play, but that doesn't make it any less painful or dangerous.
This is also a message to all dictatorships and to all war criminals around the globe that yes, you can commit war crimes, you can use chemical weapons against your own people, and you can actually bomb your country and detain millions and displace them and kill them, and you can still get away with it, and you can still be elected for another term, and you can still be called a president.
This election a clear message to the world. Assad has not only survived, he is here to stay. Jomana Karadsheh, CNN, Istanbul.